So some of you may know that over the summer, the President of the United States made public his nomination of Judge Brett Kavanaugh for the seat in the Supreme Court. Judge Kavanaugh was going to be filling the vacancy that was left by the retirement of Supreme Court Justice Anthony Kennedy. In his speech accepting the nomination, Kavanaugh, who's a graduate of the Jesuit High School, Georgetown Prep in Washington, D.C., told millions of viewers that he had spent his whole life trying to live the motto of his school, to be a man for others. Then, as if that wasn't enough, he went on to tell the world that he was a committed Catholic, that he was very active in his parish. See, I was impressed that a guy who stands at the brink of possibly being one of the most important and influential people in this country would have the courage to publicly state for everyone to hear that he was a man for others and that he was a committed Catholic. The fact is that being Catholic in the world of politics, or in the world of entertainment, or in the world of science, or just in the world in general, it's not an easy thing to do. Way too often, if you wear your Catholicism on your sleeve and truly strive to live the gospel values, you are quickly met with suspicion, mockery, and cheers. You're thought to be a bore, out of date, or out of touch. Yet, there was Kavanaugh, a graduate of Yale Law School, cool as a cucumber, confident and determined, leading off his speech to the American people with a testimony to the fact that he is a man of faith and that he's raised his family to be a family of faith. He was not afraid to show the world that God and his church played a significant part of his life as a man, as a husband, as a father, and as a judge, and that it's been one of the keys to his great success. Gentlemen, the fact is that the history books are filled with men with this kind of valor and determination. Just the other day, I was in Tampa for the dedication of the new chapel of the Holy Cross for Jesuit High School. I stood in front of an image of one of the martyrs, Blessed Miguel Pro. This is a man who became a Jesuit priest during one of the most difficult times for the faith in modern history. He was born in Mexico in 1891. He entered the Jesuits shortly after the Mexican government adopted a new constitution that made being a Catholic illegal. Churches were burnt to the ground, priests and nuns were murdered, and all religious activity was suspended in the country. Yet, in the midst of all of that, Miguel Pro decided to walk right into the mouth of the lion and minister to the people of God. He spent most of his time trying to evade the authorities. He would wear costumes to disguise himself so he wouldn't be arrested. He gathered people together at night and in secret to celebrate the Mass and baptize babies. He would inconspicuously ride on buses or sit on park benches with a newspaper in his hands to hear confessions. And then he would give the absolution by doing the sign of the cross as if he was trying to swat a fly. It was dangerous, but he was not afraid to be a priest. He was not afraid to practice his Catholic faith. Eventually, though, he was betrayed, he was captured, and on November the 23rd, 1927, he was killed by a firing squad with outstretched arms, screaming at the top of his lungs, "Viva Cristo Rey!" What could possibly possess a man to be willing to live such a dangerous and persecuted life? What could possibly possess a man to be willing to die such a violent death? The answer is only one: Jesus Christ. It's only Jesus that can find the courage to stand strong for what one believes and surrender both life and limb. It's only in Jesus that you can discover the truth and the meaning of life and be willing to go to the grave for it. See, Jesus said in the gospel that if there's a man or a woman or a child who would come after him, he must pick up his cross and follow. That is what Miguel Pro did. He also warned us, Jesus warned us, that if we choose to be his disciples, they will seize and persecute you. They will hand you over to the synagogues and to the prisons, and they will have you led before kings and governors because of his name. That is what happened to Miguel Pro. And we're all called to do the same. All of us are called to do the same. Now I know that this sounds like a scary endeavor, an impossible challenge, but do not be afraid. In his homily for his inauguration to the papacy in 1978, Saint Pope John Paul II spoke in St. Peter's Square, surrounded by millions and millions of people, and he screamed out in a loud voice, "Brothers and sisters, do not be afraid to welcome Christ and accept his power. Do not be afraid. Open wide the doors for Jesus Christ. To his saving power, open the boundaries of states, economic and political systems, the vast fields of culture, civilization, and development. Do not be afraid. Christ knows what is in man. He alone knows it." Now these words have always struck a chord with me. I was 10 years old when he said this. And I remember hearing them and remember clearly feeling the strength of the Holy Spirit that was already inside of me as it moved me to live my life as a young Catholic. I read these words all the time as I made my way through high school, entered the seminary, and was ordained a priest. And in today's world, filled with such violence and confusion and abuse, I read them again so that the same Holy Spirit will continue to spur me on to live my life for Jesus Christ. And now, I read them to you. And I ask you to make them your own. Do not be afraid, my brothers, to surrender your life to Jesus Christ. Do not be afraid to search always for the truth, even when it hurts. Do not be afraid to stand up for the poor and the neglected, to confront the bully, admonish the evildoer, to silence the cynic. Do not be afraid to be a man of faith, a man of the Catholic Church, to pray in public and sing the praises of God. Gentlemen, do not be afraid to follow Jesus Christ and to be his disciple. Do not be afraid to take Christ with you into the classroom, onto the field, into the dining hall, and into your own homes. Do not be afraid to share Christ with your friends, with your parents, your teachers. Share him even with your enemies. Sons of Belen, Jesuit, if there's ever a time that the world needs good men, it's now. If there's ever a time the church needs good men, it's now. Remember our Jesuit word, magis. It means to do the more, to excel, It means to not be satisfied with the status quo and to not simply meet expectations, but to exceed them. Again, listen to the words of Pope John Paul II. Do not be afraid. Do not be satisfied with mediocrity. Put out into the deep and let down your nets for a catch. My Belen brothers, I want you to focus your eyes on the image of Jesus Christ, the image of his heart that towers over me here. Focus on that image and the heart of Christ. Know beyond the shadow of a doubt, gentlemen, that he loves you. Know that there is no lava that spews from a volcano in Hawaii. There's no blaze that ravages the forests of California. There's no global warming that increases the temperature of our earth every year that is more powerful than the love of Jesus Christ for you. It's that same fire of the love of Jesus for you. It is the passion in the heart of Jesus Christ for you that will help you manage your fear and your doubt so you can do what a disciple of Jesus needs to do. Gentlemen, this is going to be an extraordinary year at Belen, and I'm excited for what's yet to come. And as your classes begin, and you take on more responsibility in the school, as your activities and sports get going, look often to the banner, right here to the left, all the way here to the left. Look at that banner, and repeat continuously the 4 simple words that are on it. Do not be afraid. So let us together, with one voice, offer a prayer to our Blessed Mother Mary, asking her to intercede for us, to watch over us throughout this year. And we'll do it, gentlemen, in song. All together. Salve Regina, Mater Misericordiae, vita dulcedo, espes nostra salve. A te clamamus, exules filii Eve, a te suspiramus, gementes et flentes, in ac lacrimarum valle. Ella ergo advocata nostra, y los tuos misericordes oculos a nos converte. En Jesu benedictum fructus ventris tuis, nobis post hoc exilium postende. O clemens, O pia, O dulcis Virgo Maria. Our Lady of Belen, have a great evening, gentlemen. Thank you.